What if I told you that one of the greatest servers in tennis history, a man who spent years battling Roger Federer on the biggest stages, just revealed a story so insane, so revealing, that it changes how we look at Carlos Alcaraz right now? Because according to Andy Roddick, Roger Federer once went into pure survival mode, not to save a match, not to steal a set, but to make a point. And that point, Roddick says, explains exactly why Carlos Alcaraz is already one of the most dangerous players the sport has ever seen. Welcome back to Net Rush Report, your home for fast-paced tennis drama, deep dives, and the stories the tour doesn't want you to forget. That let's get into it. Andy Roddick has never been the kind of guy who tells fairy tales. He's blunt, honest, direct, and when he looked at the Carlos Alcaraz versus Jannik Sinner French Open final, a match that lasted 5 hours and 29 minutes, one of the longest and most brutal in the modern era, he said something nobody expected. He said Carlos Alcaraz reminds him of that Federer, not the elegant, smooth, floating on air Federer. No, Roddick reached into his past and pulled out a Federer story nobody had heard before, a story about a version of Roger who went into absolute survival mode. And Roddick shared it to make one point. Carlos Alcaraz has the same monster inside him. Let's rewind for a moment. The 2025 French Open final wasn't just a match. It was a war. Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner pushed each other past every limit imaginable. 5 hours, 29 minutes on court, two players refusing to break a fifth-set tiebreak that left even legends in disbelief. Alcaraz came back from 2 sets down and won the match with one of the gutsiest performances of his career. 4-6, 6-7, 7, 6-4, 7-6, 3, 7-6, 2-5. Tiebreaks. 0.5 emotional momentum swings. 0.5 chapters of pure gladiator tennis. By the end, Alcaraz wasn't just a champion. He had created a myth. So when Roddick sat down to discuss the match, people expected praise, analysis, maybe a comment about Sinner's growth. They didn't expect a Federer story that revealed the psychology of champions. According to Roddick, there was one match in their rivalry when Federer suddenly changed. That he stopped gliding, he stopped styling on points, that he stopped trying to play beautiful. He went dark, he went primal, he went into what Roddick called survival mode. Roddick described Federer locking in so intensely that the only thing left was instinct. Pure competitive instinct, no elegance, no artistry, just a man refusing to break. Roddick said Federer reached a level where every return came back, every defensive shot had bite, every rally felt like a test of will, and every point was played like it could decide the match. Roddick admitted he'd never seen Federer look like that before or after. It wasn't Roger the Maestro, it was Roger the Predator. And that's the exact parallel he sees in Carlos Alcaraz. Roddick didn't tell this story by accident. He used it as a lens to show what makes Carlos Alcaraz terrifying, even to players who are already world-class. Because Alcaraz doesn't just have talent, doesn't just have finesse, doesn't just have shot-making, he has a second gear, a ruthless, survival mode gear. Just like Federer, Alcaraz has a mode he activates when everything is on the line, a mode where the match stops being about technique and becomes about heart, lungs, and pure steel. Roddick said it clearly. Alcaraz knows how to suffer. And that, he believes, is why Sinner, as brilliant as he is, keeps finding himself on the wrong end of these Grand Slam epics. Roddick didn't stop with the Federer comparison. He went straight into the Alcaraz-Sinner rivalry, and he didn't hold back. He said this rivalry is already one of the best of the modern era, and it's only going to get bigger. Why? Because both players have elite physicality, elite shot-making, elite mental strength, elite hunger for titles, but the key, according to Roddick, is consistency in managing their bodies and minds. That if they stay healthy, if they stay committed, if they stay mentally grounded, their rivalry could define an entire generation. And the results already tell the story. Carlos Alcaraz ended the 2025 season with 8 titles, including 2 Grand Slams, both won in finals against Jannik Sinner. Let that sink in. Sinner has been great, but Alcaraz has been historic, and Roddick believes we're just getting started. Andy Roddick has spent years analyzing the sport. He's seen everything, from Federer's prime to Djokovic's dominance to Nadal's warpath. So when he says the sport is about to enter a new era, people should listen. Alcaraz is the most competitive young player since Nadal. Sinner is the most technically refined young star since Federer. Their matches already resemble the big three's early battles and psychologically. Alcaraz is ahead right now, but the part that really stands out, Roddick believes Alcaraz is building something terrifying, a legacy of breaking players in the fifth set, just like Federer, just like Djokovic, just like Nadal. And once a player becomes known for that, the rest of the locker room starts losing to him before the match even begins. Net rush Artiso, that's the real story behind Andy Roddick's Federer anecdote, and why he believes Carlos Alcaraz is already operating on a level that only legends understand. 5-hour matches to fifth-set tiebreaks, championship moments under impossible pressure. Alcaraz isn't just winning, he's surviving and conquering in the same way the greatest champions of all time once did. This is Net Rush Report. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.